Hello, viewers. You're welcome. In this episode, we want to treat the topic linear equation from the scratch. We deal with previous ended polynomials. So now we want to take linear equation. If you are new, consider to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment. So we want to take it when they talk of equation. We know equations are mathematical statements that involve equal sign placed between an algebraic expression. So we know algebraic expressions are made up of mathematical statements which consist of a constant and a variable. So if I have 4x plus y, if I have this is an algebraic expression because it combines operations with constant and that of a variable. Now, if we have another expression which is 2x minus 1, this is also an algebraic expression. If I put these two together, placing equal sign between them, then I can call this what an equation. So equation is just what? Any mathematical statement which has an equal sign between the algebraic expressions. So it could also be 4x equals to 1. This is also an equation. Now, we are saying linear equation. So a linear equation is an equation which has a degree of 1. We know we deal with polynomial which we define the terms of polynomial using their degree of 1, degree of 2. So if the degree, that's the highest power of variables in the equation, is 1, then that becomes a linear equation. When the highest power is 2, we know it's called quadratic. When it's 3, we have cubic equation, and so on and so forth. Now, if I have 2x plus 1 equals to 5, obviously this is an equation, and at the same time it is linear because the variable in there has a power of 1. Now, the number that comes before the variable is what you call coefficient. Any constant or any number that is placed in front of a variable, simply put, in front of alphabet, is what we call coefficient. Then the alphabet are called variables. They are the unknown quantity to be determined, or the unknown quantity to make the statement true. Then this 1 and 5 is what we call constant. They are numbers without variable. So any equation that you have, it could be x minus y equals to 4. In this case, 4 is the constant we are referring to. There is a number in front of the variable, which is 1, which we don't write. There is 1x, there is negative y here. So the 1 that is invisible here is our coefficient. Then the x and the y become the variable. 4 become the constant. Alright. Now, if you have this equation, we can also find the solution. We can find the root, or we can also find what? The truth set. Anytime you are asked to find the root or find the solution or the truth set, they are only asking you to solve this equation to find the value of the variable that satisfies the equation. You are looking for a value. We all know that equal sign simply means that the same amount. So it means whatever is on the left hand side of the equal sign equals to the right hand side. Meaning everything here is just 5. Since this is a number we already know. This is an expression. So the whole of the 2x plus 1 must be equal to 5 to make this statement true. So what will be the value of x that if I place in here will make all of this to be equal to what? 5. That is what you'll be asked to solve. Solving means find the solution. Solving means find the root of the solution. Or find the truth set the values of x that satisfy the equation. So if I want to solve this, in my mind, since I know I am looking for 5, then I have already what? 1. So I need 4. And I'm already having what? 2x, which I know is 2 times x. So which number multiply 2 to give me 4 to be added to 1 to give me what? 5. That will be 2. So you'll be having 2 times 2 plus 1 equals to 5. So which obviously to be 4 plus 1 equals to 5. 5 is the same as 5. So this statement to be true, the value of x is what? 2. X can assume only 2 to make this statement what? True. That is what it means. Alright. Now in solving of equations, we will deal with that extensively, but we have types of or forms of equations. You can see in the beginning, as I state my examples, I have this equals to 4. And you'll be asking yourself, this have only one variable. This have 2 of the variables. Then what will be the difference between equation with 1 variable and equation with what? 2 variable? That will lead us to the forms of what? Equation. So for the forms of equation, we have 3 forms of equation, 3 main forms. The first form is called standard form. The second is slope-intercept form. Then we have the point-slope form. Now, when it comes to the standard form, we have ax plus b equals to 0, where a here is not equal to 0. The moment a is equal to 0, it means there is no variable. That will mean that b equals 0, which b is a constant. So if b assume 4, 4 cannot be equal to what? 0. So this is a standard equation involving 1 variable. Equation involving 1 variable. So I can have a to be 4, then x minus 1 equals 0, where b is my minus 1. So this is an equation, a standard form equation involving only 1 variable. It could also be negative x plus 10 equals to 1. Which you know that if 1 comes to this place, become 10 minus what? 1 equals to 0. The 0 will still be there. So this is a standard form. Then we have ax plus by plus c equals to 0, where a and b cannot be 0. When a and b is 0, we are left with only c. So this is also an equation involving 2 variables. We can say variable x and variable what? Y. So if a, b, c are constant, I can have 5x plus 6y plus 8 equals what? 0. So this is also an equation, but it's a standard form of what? Equation, which involve 2 variables. We know this could be used to solve questions under simultaneous equation. But what we'll be doing extensively under linear equation will be under the first standard form, which is involving 1 variable. Alright. We also have the third one to be ax This obviously involves what? 3 variable equation, standard equation or standard form of equation involving what? 3 variable, which will be x, y, z, where a, b, c cannot be 0 and a, b, c, d are all constant. Alright. This will also be solved under simultaneous equation involving 3 variable. We will deal with that at the tail end. Then we have what they call the slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form, which we have as y equals to mx plus what? C. This is the equation of a straight line. When I say equation of a straight line, this is what it will be represented. Don't forget, when it involves 2 variables, we can also write this in terms of this, meaning making your y the subject. This will go followed by a c. But any equation written in this form, having x, y coming first, before the value of x and a constant, or without a constant, we call it what? Slope-intercept what? Form or equation of a straight line, where the m stands for the gradient. We know gradient is the change in y-axis over the change in x-axis, where this c is just the intercept on the y, or y-intercept. Meaning anytime the value of x is 0, y is equal to c. Meaning y equals to c if x is 0. So m is the gradient. I believe you get the concept. So we can have something like y equals to 6x minus 1, and you'll be asked to find the gradient of this equation, which is going to be 6. The gradient is a number in front of 4x. So that is going to be 6. Then the y-intercept, meaning put x equals to 0. So if x is 0, y is negative 1. So the intercept is going to be y-intercept will become negative 1. Alright. Then the final one is the point slope form, which is more or less like this. We have y minus y1 m x minus what? x1. Solving this well will lead us back into the equation of a straight line. So where the x1 and the y1 are the point or the coordinate point on the plane. So this value will be the point on the x plane. This value will be the point on the y plane, where the x and the y are the main coordinates on the point, on the plane. So this x and this y is what we are seeing repeating itself here. You can see the m, which is a gradient. So this is still the gradient. So the moment I know the value of x and y, my equations will come back to the equation of a straight line. But this is called a point slope form of an equation. Okay? Now, when it comes to the solving of linear equation, I explained that the solving simply means finding the root, finding the solution, or the truth set. First thing to do is to look out for fractions, decimals, or parentheses. Fractions or decimal or parentheses, meaning bracket, as in this case, fraction. If there is a fraction in the equation, the first thing to do is to clear the fractions by looking for the LCM. If there is a decimal, the decimal will be converted to fractions, then the principle of fractions will be applied. If there is a parenthesis or a bracket, the bracket must be opened. That's the first thing. Now, the moment this is out of the way, then move all terms with variables to the left side of the equal sign. Every term that contains x or y or z must go to the left side of the equal sign. Then move all terms without variables to the right. That's the constant. All constants go to the right. All variables go to the left. Then combine your like terms, meaning perform your operations, subtraction, addition, whatever it is you perform. Then the next stage, which is the final stage, is what? Divide both sides of the equation by the numerical coefficient of the variable. Since we are able to combine all of them, variables on the left, constant on the right, if there is a numerical value other than 1 following coming before the variable, you divide both sides by that particular numerical coefficient to get your solution of the equation. So number 1, we have 4x equals to 8. You can see in this case, elimination of fraction, decimal, or parentheses cannot work because there is no fraction. So I leave it aside. I think of bringing the variables to the left, constant to the right, which is already in that form. So the next thing to do is to dividing both sides of the equation by the numerical or coefficient of the variable. Which number is coming in front of the variable, which is what? 4. So divide both sides. So it's going to be that 4x over 4 equals to 8 over 4. That implies that 4 will cancel 4, x equals to 8 divided by 4 will give us 2. Meaning 2 is what makes this statement what? True. For this statement to be true, x must assume the stature of what? 2. So it means that the solution is 2. the root is 2. The truth set is going to be x equals to, or x such that x is equals to what? 2 will be the truth set. We know a set must be enclosed in this curly bracket. But find the solution, x equals to 2. Find the root, x equals to 2. Find the truth set. Then you present your answer in this form. Don't forget, the equal sign means that whatever is on the left, the same at the right. So whatever I do to the left, I must do to the right. That's how come you divide both sides by 4. For number 2, I have 2 plus 8x equals what? 10. Obviously, there's no fraction, no decimal, no bracket to eliminate. So I go straight forward with what? Move all terms that have variable to the left, which I have only 1. Then move all terms without a variable to the right. Meaning, this must come towards this. But how do we do it? I want to eliminate the 2 to go to the right. Therefore, I subtract 2 from the left, subtract 2 from the right. I want to make these 2 to evaporate or to leave this place to go to the right. How will I do it? I only have to subtract it. 2 minus 2 give me 0. But whatever I do to the left must be done to the right. Therefore, 10 minus 2 also, so that the equation will balance. So I'll be having 8x equals to 10 minus what? 2. Already you know 2 minus 2 will be 0. So you'll be left with only 8x equals to 10 minus 2. That is moving all constant to the right. So we have 8x equals to 8. Now we come back to the last term, dividing through by the coefficient. 8x over 8, 8 over 8. So x will be equals to what? 1. So the solution of this equation will be x equals 1. X can only be 1 here to make this statement what? True. If x is 1, 8 times 1, that will be 8 plus 2, that will be 10, making this statement also a true statement. Let's go to the third one. So with this, we can see there is no fraction, but there is a bracket, the parenthesis. So the bracket must be open, that is expanding, using the term in front of the bracket to multiply every individual term in the bracket. So I maintain my 5. 30x equals to 4 times 3. That will be 12. 4 times 4x, that will be 16x. So next thing to do is to move all terms that involve variable to the left, all terms that does not involve variable to where? The right. So what I'll do is that I want this to come here. So I'll subtract 16x from both the left and the right. Meaning if I subtract, 16x will come here. Then I will also subtract 5 from both sides. Meaning 5 will leave here and go here. So what I mean is that it becomes 30x minus 16x equals to 12 minus what? 5. What are we doing? We are subtracting 16 from the right and from the left. So all this minus 16. But 16 minus 16 will be 0. So we are no more having it on the right. We also want the 5 to live here. So we subtract 5 from here. So 5 minus 5 give me 0. Then all of this minus what? 5. Already this is 0. So I'll be left with this. So now the variables are on the left. The constants are on the right. So per the subtraction, we are saying that 30x minus 16x. The x is just there to tell that there are a branding. It could be oranges. 30 oranges minus what? 16 oranges. And that will be leave out with what? 14 oranges. Now, that will give us what? 7. That's 12 minus 5 will be 7. The last term says divide both sides by any numerical coefficient. So that is going to be 14x over 14, 7 over 14. I believe 14 will cancel. 7 go there 1, go here what? 2. Meaning the value of x that satisfies this equation will be half. Meaning if I put half here and half here, the left will be equal to the right. We know half of this is 15. 15 plus 5 will be 20. Half of this will be 2. 2 plus this is 5. 5 times 4, 20. So 20 equals to 20. So this is just the introduction of what? Linear equation. In the subsequent editions, we take the various aspects step by step and solve them. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any question, hit me up in the comment section. Like and share. If you are new, subscribe. Bye bye.